on Friday, we got a very interesting interview, well, more like a live stream with the Arena devs on how they actually made Lowland Shores, one of the best maps in Guild Wars 2 ever, in my opinion. And it's very interesting, and it gives us a bit of insight on what we can expect for the next patches and the next maps we're gonna get. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Go to my Ko-Fi or YouTube memberships to support my content. Go to my Twitch to watch me live. Today, I would heavily recommend, and I'll leave a link in the description down below for you to watch this entire stream, because it was very interesting to see how developers actually think about things and how they actually go about making these maps, especially on a game like Guild Wars 2 that is so different than any other MMO, and how much, well, we all love it. So I think it's very cool to see what it actually was about and how they actually go through everything. I'm gonna summarize a little bit on the things that they actually said, so you guys don't have to say this. If you don't want to, don't see the complete stream, but you can do it if you want to. Maybe I'll convince you by giving you some of these little things, right? First of all, they talk about how they actually go about doing these things, and how they went to the salmon race, how they went to make the war claw, and so on and so on. They mainly thought, hey, we have had life experiences about this kind of stuff. For example, one of the devs actually lived in a place for a while where there was actually salmon races, so they thought, man, considering this fact is a Nordic kind of expansion, and this is where this usually would happen, let's put that in. I know how it works, let's make it something fun. The same thing goes for the Warclaw. The developer that actually helped a lot with the Warclaw has dogs, and they actually started taking care of a cat. So all these things got together into making a very interesting map with things that happen in real life, like the heart, where you have to actually take care of them, pet them, give them food, and of course also picking out their poop. That's actually very, obviously if you have an animal like that, you will know that this is very important, and of course they wanted to show that and make people bond into the characters, into the Warclaw, into the game that way. They talk about the bug bodies, the Baldraven, the Bogwing, all being Nordic themes of different legends and stuff like this, and also different nature phenomena that happen in those places. Also talking about how the entirety of the Bogwing event just started because they wanted to just smash maggots with their Warclaws, and they needed something to do with, and they thought, well, a big boss that is like the queen of the swamp would actually make a lot of sense here, which I thought was very cool. And then they worked up from it. They also talk about the Frog JP and how they just wanted a big jumping puzzle with moving platforms. Initially they said no, because moving platforms are kind of hard to do, and also they're going to be hard for people to actually do them. But they ended up convincing people, and I think we all agree that the frog jumping puzzle is such a fun little event that everybody loves. So honestly, good job that they got convinced to do it anyways, and they had this idea as well. I think it was very good. I also found it very interesting how they talk about the fact that when they actually went in and made Lowland Shores, they realized kind of, late in development, this is a very vertical map, which means they're gonna have to in some way, be able to navigate it. Giving Warclaw the possibility of not dying to fall damage was hugely important, and they actually asked for this later on, and they actually say and they actually compared the Warclaw as like a little bit of a mixture of a cat, a dog, and a squirrel, because squirrels can actually just jump from anywhere and they will never harm themselves regardless of how high they actually jump from. So I think that's very interesting, and of course they made the Warclaw into this as well. Then they talk about the actual hearts and how they made it, specifically this one, in how they wanted to, well, as I said before, take care of Warclaws just like you would do a pet. And the more you actually do this heart, the more you progress the tiers, the Warclaw that is around you will start loving you more, will start show you more affection, which ideally, that would be something that people really like and get invested into doing the heart more and more and feel rewarded for doing this heart. Personally, I feel like this has not really happened. I actually didn't have no idea this actually was a thing. And then they start talking about how a lot of the hearts actually, the more you progress them, the more dialogue other NPCs have. It's kind of hard to tell. I understand that they want this to be the case, but like, how are you? I mean, most people are not gonna guess this. They're not gonna actually get it. I think it's very important for them to actually give us some sort of clue that this is happening. because it's just development that is kind of wasted and makes people not want to actually engage with the heart system as much as they should. And there's a lot of effort put into here. It should be known, and it kind of sucks that that's just what ended up happening, right? I remember very specifically in WoW, there's a big quest line where you actually, take care of a dog and you make them, grow and grow and grow and become huge, right? Way more than an actual dog should be. And I think that's actually pretty cool because you remember this quest line, and I think it's important to do the same thing here. And you can do this with the hearts. We're going to have to make it significant. Otherwise, all this effort is kind of lost. And I hope that they actually can find a way to do this in the next patches, because the idea of hearts progressing is very, very good, but they need to figure out a good way of doing it. Then they talk about a little bit of the jumping puzzle, specifically this one. Apparently, when it started, it used to have all these little platforms you would actually go for, and the trees, they would actually fall over. They would fall off once you touch them, just like the Winter's Day puzzle. And also there was debris that would hit you while trying to get up. Thank God they actually changed this, because holy, that seems like a super, super hard thing to do, and I think a lot of people would have never done this and would have completely broken to that. So yeah, I mean, imagine just having the Chalice of Tears, but it's actually just some bee tree jumping puzzle, and you have to do it daily. People would have lost their mind. So honestly, good. And they say how they actually fix this by giving it the race spin. That way you can actually want to go fast. As fast as you can, while also not having super, super difficult jumping puzzle, but by you trying to make it fast, you still get that adrenaline and you still get that difficulty if you so want to, which I think is absolutely a great compromise. Also talk about the Queen Bee jumping puzzle, and this is probably my favorite thing of the entire stream. They talk about why they actually made a jumping puzzle out of this. Originally, this was just to be a secret place where the bees hide, I guess, and they put some bees in there, and that was it. And all this little, beehive things were just there. They're not a jumping puzzle. They just put them there. But I think they said this is like whenever you leave environmental designers alone for too long in a cool place, they will start doing way too much. In a good way, though, as they gave so much personality because they saw those beautiful little bees that they just made an insane, huge place with a lot of beehives. And then they said, well, if we did this, might as well make it a jumping puzzle. They asked, they actually were, approved to do it. And then once that happened, they were like, well, if we're gonna get a huge jumping puzzle with a lot of bees, they're like, well, might as well give it a queen bee too. I mean, how could we not? And then just continuously going like this forever, right? And I think that's so, so, so cool. They just want a little point of interest that is secret and looks cool. And when it gets cool, all the developers that are super passionate about the game and they love designing things, they're like, well, if you're gonna do this, might as well do this as well. And then they can't stop themselves. They need to keep going. I think that's so cool. And it gives such a great insight on why Guild Wars 2 is such a good game, because people really, really care about the game. The developers really, really care about making something beautiful. And I know a lot of people are disappointed with the game. I know a lot of people, hate on arenanet or whatever. But the truth is that, we're all in this together, right? They want to make a good game. We want them to make a good game. And we're all struggling to make the best that we can. And sure, sometimes they make mistakes. Sometimes we make mistakes. Is that Sneb? That is Sneb. Sneb CG. Why is Sneb in the... Sorry, I got distracted. That's so funny. Well, regardless, I think it's so cool, and by seeing how much they care about, and something you don't really see in video games lately. People are not... They just want to make money. And what's the point in that, right? I think it's so much cooler to see how much they actually care about the game, that they will give themselves more work just because they're passionate about their game and because they want to do something beautiful. And I think that's so cool, and I'm so proud of being part of this game, and I'm so proud of being able to make content for the game, and also being able to see how these things happen. I think that's awesome. I think that's great. And I'm very happy that I made this video too. So tell me what you guys think. Tell me what you think is interesting. Tell me what you're excited for. And well, there you go. See you guys around. Thank you very much for watching, guys. See you guys around. Love you all. Go to my Ko-Fi to go support my content, YouTube memberships as well, or my Patreon, or my PayPal, and go to my Twitch to watch me live. Go to my Discord to see all of the events we're actually gonna do very, 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 very soon. We're gonna make a video about that. See you guys around. Love you all. Bye bye.